Hello, what's going on guys? It's Crispin here, and today I wanted to talk about another story from my youth. We have all been forced into playing sports by our parents as kids. Some of us enjoyed it, some of us didn't. When I was a kid, I played a lot of different sports. I played soccer for 4 or 5 years, I played handball for somewhere around 1 or 2 years, and I played tennis on and off until this day. I have also tried a few other things like MMA and kickboxing in my days, but these are the most significant. I started playing soccer or football, as I will keep calling it throughout the commentary because I'm European, when I was 8 years old. I played as a goalkeeper, and I think it mostly began with me being the biggest guy in the team. And in that age, as long as you're big enough to cover a portion of the goal, you're the best goalie in the team. When I didn't play as a keeper, I was a central midfielder. Mostly because I had no problem dealing out passes from the middle of the pitch. I wasn't good enough to be a forward and score goals, and I wasn't good enough to be a back to defend. Defender, it's called. In Swedish we say back, which makes it... I got a little confused. Sorry. I was never one of the good players in the team, and at that age I blamed it on the other guys having more like raw talent to begin with. And sure, that might be true, but it was also the fact that they were in better physical shape than me and they worked harder on every practice. My favorite part of a game was when we got to the penalty shootouts. If in case that happened. It was not very often that happened, but when it happened, I really loved it. Because it meant that I, the keeper, would be the center of everyone's attention. If I saved a penalty, I was a hero, and if I didn't, people were kind of okay with it because they didn't expect a small kid saving a penalty. Most of the goalkeepers in my age were afraid of the ball. So, it was a really low-risk, high-reward thing to do, you know? In later years I have been looking back and wondered why I quit playing football, and all I remember was that I thought that the player in my team got too self-obsessed. Which feels kinda dumb coming from the guy who just said that his favorite part of the game was when all eyes were on him. But the problem with people playing football in their early teens are that everyone gets a very bloated self-image. There was no place for humility, which was something I was taught in a very young age by my mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, which were my biggest idols as a kid. So when people got more like braggy, I started to get more and more uncomfortable with my team, and eventually I got tired and I quit at the age of 13. After that I wasn't that into sport for a very long time. That is kind of when I started to pick up gaming as my almost only hobby. I was playing a lot more of Modern Warfare 2 and COD 4 and found my community in that crowd, and I still feel at home with that crowd. Later, when I was around 16 to 19, I got into playing football again with the school team at my gymnasium, which is the Swedish school system's place for you when you're between 16 and 19. It's where you read before you go off to university, if that's your thing. Well, anyway, we had a school team that played 2 games every year, but we had a practice every week. The games that we played were connected to the school championship between us and the other gymnasium in the small town we lived in. The first game was a practice game against a local team, and the second game was against the other school. I just played one of those games in my 3 years, and that was my last ever real football game as far as I know. We lost with somewhere around 7-2, I think, because of a lack of substitutes. When we had 3 people on the bench, the other team had 11 because it was a larger school and also more focused on physical education. What I enjoy the most in football is something that I still find in gaming, which makes it easy to say that I will probably never go back to play sports in a team again, because the sense of community that I so enjoyed is easily found with my friends in real life and in the YouTube community as well. One little thing I want to add, in all of my games that I've played in my so-called football career, I never scored a goal. Even though half of my games were played on the midfield instead of as a keeper, and I played for a couple of years, I never scored a goal. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video and this commentary, and I wasn't rambling for too long. If you did, please leave a like rating down below and subscribe for more videos on personal stories and some pretty okay gaming content, if I get to say so myself. Have a nice day, guys. Bye.